Uh, Thank you for... Yes, no, it's not the mic. I like turn off the mic volume in OBS when I go on break. And then I keep forgetting to turn it back on. But I didn't say anything important. I was just saying... actually, I did say something important, which is if you guys are also working on puzzle games and you are looking for kind of critique on it, kind of just like what we did with Unmatch, send it to me. I don't think I'll be doing that every day, but I'll probably do it like once a week, maybe on Fridays. I think that works well. It's like a little more relaxed atmosphere. And then now I'm going back into this level, which I was showing you guys, which we were working on before. I'm just going to run through it and talk about some of the problems that are left and what kind of what I feel needs to be done and what I like about it and what I don't like. And also I'm going to talk about some of the architecture elements, like why I added those. So first of all, let's go back. You know, for this, we are going to move Inspector out of the way. And just to maximize this. So yesterday I went back and I actually did a bunch of stuff and I've optimized it. It's not as big as it was before, but we are going to see. So while that's loading, well, actually it's not loading anymore, but I'm gonna go get some water. Alright, I said I was going to get some water, and then I went and got some beer instead. Some summer shandy. It's Friday, so... Okay, so... This is, okay, let's go into NoClip. Alright, so basically what I wanted the level to do before was water. Set no clip speed. Let's leave that. Okay, so one of the things I'm really happy with is these like 3 steps that I added, because I think it adds a lot to the level of, you know, when these aren't there, like look too empty, there's just too much empty space. The nice thing that it does too is then from the top side, actually, you know what's kind of cool with this is then I can just say from the top side and look down, it doesn't really matter, right? Same thing, is that then it creates like a much more interesting shape from above, as opposed to used to we just like cut into this corner right here. Man, I wish there was a way to draw. While I'm here, does anyone know if there's like some kind of tool, some software that lets you do an overlay on top of what's on your screen? Like, I just realized that would be super handy, but I'm gonna have to just use the cursor, the reticle. But you know, if it cut off, like having this shape, I think is a lot more interesting. Having these come out a bit. Real entropy. Oh, and it's 322 in the UK. You know, something. Sub Infinity. He's gone. He was here earlier, but one of the advice he gave me was I'm going to have a specific UK stream time. I think it's going to be on Sundays. But I'm going to do like Sunday 2 to 4 p.m. CST. And I think that will be, that'll be like 8 p.m. Yeah, that'll be like 8 to 10 UK time. So yeah, I really like these steps. I think they were a nice touch. I also, the other big thing is I made the windows so that they're more vertical instead of kind of going, hey, Crazy Raz 91, thanks for coming by again. Unless there's something hidden. Ah, okay. Right, the other thing was, I don't know if you guys remember some of the earlier streams. Well, if you don't, you can, they're all archived on YouTube, but actually, you know what? Hold on a second. Let's just pull up some of those images, because I think I uploaded all of them. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Yeah, actually, instead of just... I just realized instead of trying to describe everything, we can just bring up images of the previous levels that we did before. Aha! So first of all, let's take a look at this, right? You can see here, I had these horizontal windows, and I just thought it made the thing look too... Like, I really didn't like the way they went into the stairs. Like, that felt like an arbitrary width. This part then looked too empty. Here's another picture. Yeah, I always try to capture a lot of screenshots. Yeah, I just felt like this looks so empty. And then I didn't like this. And then, you know, when we kind of extended it, I just thought this shape looked like too uniform, too boring. Yeah, it felt like so much empty space. So you can see that what we've added instead, you know, I had the steps here to smooth it out, to make that a little more interesting. We added this out here. This to kind of close up that gap. And then the other thing was making the bridge so that instead of it just being completely flat, it went in a bit. And I think that ends up making the kind of when you go into this direction, I think it makes that boundary just way more interesting. And so it's sort of about finding that right level of detail and complexity. Now, there's not going to be this gap. That's kind of an issue that's broken because right now there isn't 10:23 a.m. in Hong Kong. It is either it's really, really late for you, Ed Riofer, or it's perfect time. Crazy Raz going as well. Unless you were talking to main GI, in which case it doesn't matter. I'm still going to answer. So, yeah, I think it just makes for this view to be much more interesting. Right now, the problem is that the wool wrapping only happens in a box, and it has to be the same on all sides. Eventually, we're going to make it not that way. We'll have it where you can do kind of different shaped cubes. Not cubes, things, prisms, rectangles, 3D rectangles. So, by the way, before I forget, if you're new and you're enjoying the stream, make sure you follow. That lets me know people are watching. So what I really love about having this opening, instead of, the way we had it before, for those of you who've been watching, is that I just had it where it was this grid that was just like this, right? And the thing is with this is that it's just not, there's no sense of mystery. It's like, like you see this and you're just like, okay, it's going to be the same everywhere. But I think what's with this is like, whoa, like it looks, you get that far off view. Like it really makes us feel, this actually reminds me, I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for The Last Guardian. But I think that game has a really great sense of scale, And I love that where it's like you're this kid and you're just running around this space that's huge, like it's this monument to some past glorious civilization, but there's no one there now. And I kind of get that same feeling here. And that's really, I don't know, I think that's really cool. Right, we can fly around some more. Right, like, just look at that. Like, I think that's a really special view. You know, what we do is, like, imagine starting out, oh yeah, and this is what it looks like on the inside. But imagine if, so I haven't figured out, like, what the entrance and the exit is, but I think what would be kind of cool is if you had a door that was, like, in here. We might have to make this a little bit bigger or something, I don't know. But where, like, you came out, where maybe you can see this, like, no, yeah, you start out inside and you can look outside and maybe it just doesn't look quite, it just looks like a big mess. You know, it just looks really cool on the outside, and then you, like, climb up or something and you make your way out the door and it's like, boom, you're on this platform. And I don't know, I think it looks, to me, this looks incredibly majestic. Someone said it looks a lot like a cathedral. And that is kind of what I'm going for now. And then when you go into this mode, it feels a lot more almost spaceship-like. It feels like they're in, like, flight formation. And of course, how's it going? Cuboids, thank you. The blank 01 asks, is Unity or Unreal Engine better? It really depends on what you want to do. I mean, I thought about switching to Unreal. There was one time I got the monthly subscription. I downloaded Unreal, but the workflow was just so different that for what I'm used to, it didn't make sense for me to switch. You know, I mean, you can get really nice photorealistic stuff with Unreal. I think much more so than Unity. Not saying it's not possible with Unity. I think it might be a little harder. I don't really know because that's not really what I'm going for. But yeah, I mean, if you're starting out and you're trying to choose which engine you want to use, I would recommend downloading both of them. Unity is free. The personal version, it's free, which has all the features, and Unreal is like $20. You know, you can just do 1 month and get the source code. You can't be able to update, but oh yeah, that's a nice thing, I guess, Unreal, because you have access to source code, which some people really like. Source is another option. You can also roll your own engine. That one, I wish I could do that. I don't even know if I'd recommend it. It is very hard. Depends on what you want to do. I haven't done it myself. Toggle HUD. Let's take a screenshot of this. I love this. I love this screenshot. I love this view. Water Lyman. Man, I can hardly read your name. It's in my Twitch chat. It's like a super bright green. It looks like someone finished their Octree implementation and made an infinite world software render. You know, I actually have no idea what Octree is. Real Entropy asks, do you LOD those wrapping levels or something? How aren't you lagging out really heavy with all of those instantiates? No, we are not doing LOD. There is just some... David Lasky has just done some absolutely phenomenal optimization work in the back end. Absolutely fantastic. The walls were a great recommendation. Joel McDonald. I do know Joel. Maker of Prune. You know Joel... so Andy James Adams just talked about Joel McDonald. He's making this great game, Prune, which I actually did want to bring to your attention. Everyone, we'll pause it and I'll tell you about it. Joel's making this game, prunegame.com. And I've played it. I've been playtesting it for the last little while. It's coming to iOS. Beautiful game. And Joel is the one. He used to work at, I think, Raven in. He worked on like a bunch of AAA games in I think the studio is called Raven, but he was the one that told me about signposting, like creating directions for in your level so that players' eyes can go to a certain place. And I'd now call it like intentional architecture. One day I will do a GDC talk about this. But oh man, I love that light. Yo guys, check out that light. That sweet light. Look at that. Oh man. You know what? Yeah, we've done some. Yeah, David has done some absolutely phenomenal work with where is this other light? David's done some absolutely phenomenal work with optimizing the game. Here it is. That's too bright. Yeah, problem right now is I have like both my scene and game view in the same editor, so I can't actually see what's happening. Normally I like dual screen it. Okay, check out these shadows. Yeah, no, David's just done some really great stuff with optimization, so I still like the red view of the level the most. Wait, okay, let me catch up on some of these chats first. Wait, you worked at Raven. I'm really curious if you ever test a level in mobile device. Crazy Ras asked if I've ever tested a level in mobile device. I have not. I don't think it will work. Like my setup. I've got a 970 right now. Let me see if I can switch to red. Oops, wrong direction. I need to restart this. Real Entropy asks, I presume all these extra worlds. Are you making a game with a similar mechanic? Because if so, there's some other stuff going on. Actually, at some point, a little further along in development, I am going to have David on the stream, and we're going to talk about some of the optimization that we're doing. But you better not be taking my game mechanic, because someone else did that. Someone else. Well, I mean, I didn't invent this 3D roll wrapping, but has been used in another game. Yeah, no, we will talk about it. It is actually pretty complicated, and we've done some like really amazing stuff. Like a level like this would not have been possible months ago, but what? Here we go. Hold on. No, wait. Oh, that's cool. Okay, who just said red was... Main GI 3D roll wrap was inspired from Anti-Chamber. Actually, so I'll tell you the story with the 3D roll wrapping, is that it was actually not taken from Anti-Chamber, but I did get it, but it was inspired from a conversation with Alexander Bruce, who made Anti-Chamber. Basically, before, I'll show you guys what it looked like kind of when I didn't have it, like that's prune. Let me just pull up the devlog. Yeah, the nice thing with this devlog is it lets me see a whole bunch of go back. So if you don't use actual meshes, see parent, I imagine you just teleport the player to a different part of the world that looks the same. Stop spilling my secrets. Let me go back to and yes, as Andy James Adams says, I mean, a bunch of stuff is just here on the devlog. I mean, the game is so weird, like, if you really want to copy it, it's sort of a nightmare. So back to what I was saying. So I didn't actually get it from... It didn't necessarily come from Anti-Chamber, but it was inspired by a conversation with Alexander Bruce. So I showed Alex. So this was the version I had at PAX East 2014. And I was hanging out with Alex, and I was like, showing him this stuff, and we were just talking about it on Twitter, and he goes, you know, your sky is so blank. And so you should just put stuff there, you know, in the background. And I was like, well... And I said, you know, I want everything you see that you can be able to get to. And he's like, well, maybe when you rotated those things, like rotate as well, so they were always out of reach. And I was like, I don't know, I don't really like that setup. And at PAX East, everyone would go on and they'd jump off. And, you know, they'd be like, oh, let's see what happens. And then the screen would just fade to black and it would respawn them. And then I was staying, when I was at PAX East, I was staying with a friend, a college roommate, who's now a mathematician at Princeton. And he actually specialized in 4D geometry. We were talking, we were like hanging out in like this MIT bar, which is, it's like a library. It's like really well lit. And we were talking about and then it occurred to me, we were just talking about like crazy 4D shapes, and then it occurred to me, like, oh, I could use the wool wrapping, which, yes, Anti-Chamber does have, but I can use it in every direction, which makes it a lot easier to navigate in all the places. And then I could have stuff in the distance that players can see and still get to. Like, it can all play with that rule. So, yeah, there's like a... I think if you search for conversations on Twitter between me and Alex Bruce, you can kind of see... you can see what... kind of how that evolved. See, parent, what if you can reach a distance in the distance? Well, you can reach them, you know, when you get outside. Smooth Dog asks, is this a truck sim? Yes, it is actually my fan... my... it's because I love Euro Truck Simulator so much, which I actually do. whatever the great amalgamation just said, that pretty much... Yeah, this is my fan tribute to Euro Truck Simulator. But what the great amalgamation said, yes, is exactly what... Set no clip speed. I really need autocomplete on this console. Yeah, okay, before I got all distracted, what I wanted to do was to go into the red version. Somebody said it was their favorite. Yeah, and if anyone is new and are enjoying this, make sure to follow. Who said red was their favorite? Reading through the stream. You know, I can't, the chat is going by too quickly, but somebody said the red view was their favorite, so let's just fly around a bit in this world. Oh man, oh watch this, hold on. Because I can do like a super slow panning. Alright, this is like, this is if I wanted to do like the dramatic, we have like a bunch of tools written for like video editing for the trailer. But you know, this is kind of like the smooth pan. Yeah, see right now the problem is the shaders. There's like a bunch of weird artifacts. I don't know if you can see the stairs. It's just like that pattern is just warping. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Smooth Dog asks, when do I throw my money at the screen? I guess you can throw money at the screen right now. But this game won't be out for a while. It's just a lot of work, but I do keep a pretty open development process. And somebody... I guess there's a ton of information on the Twitch page just right below. And I'll link you to... There is, it's not so much anti-aliasing, it's like more than that. Smooth Dog. There's a mailing list. Launches. There's a mailing list when the game launches. Yeah, it's coming to PlayStation 4, PC. It's called Relativity, but I found a name that I think is even better, that suits the game more. We're going to announce that game in the new name with like a new brand. There's going to be a new website, new trailer, all that nice stuff later this summer. So yeah, I think... So, okay, just to go back, so we're in red. This is... So anyway, someone requested red. So this is... Red is very cool too. I'm going to take a screenshot here. Take lots of screenshots. So one of the things I'm going to do is fix the spacing between these instances. Pretty simple fix. Ooh, that looks cool. Damn. Oh, you know what's way more interesting if you do... Like, I think there's like an art to capturing great screenshots, which is you want foreground. Well, I guess it's just photography. but having foreground and background. Wait, let's go down here. Oh yeah, see this has like a good balance of foreground detail and background for scale. Oh yeah, this is it. And just enough on the right side to like show you there's something more. Do you think something can be done with these stairs? There's like a few tweaks. Of course, I'll need to figure out an entrance and an exit. I do think right now this part up here is a little bit too small compared to, yeah, that like looks a little too bottom heavy. I think that I can even it out. I don't know. Does it feel like, I don't know, do these pillars feel like they're too small together? Like I think it's just like these minor touches here that can get reworked. Yeah, I love this, right? I love this look because it's like, imagine you're just like standing here and you got these pillars, right? Oh, that looks cool. That's a great shot. Actually, we're gonna go down here to this version. That's a great shot. Right, and it's like you're just looking at these pillars. Imagine this is like an auditorium and it's just full of life. Like there's people everywhere. Imagine living in a city like this and you just like walk off the edge and you look down and it's like, holy cow. Oh, so I don't know if I'm a fan of that bridge sticking out. It might be too boring otherwise. So I might have to consider doing like a more elegant cap. Because right now that just looks like the bridge got cut in half, but I think it'd be a lot more interesting if it ended in like a more intentional way. This is what I was talking about earlier with like intentional architecture. I don't think this feels intentional. This feels like it just got cut off and it wasn't like designed to be that way. It's not Relativity, it's Clay House of Stairs. Played this at BitBash. Let me catch up on some of the streams. I think the only way to stop doing that. Yeah, the only way to get the stairs to stop doing that anti-aliasing with the low level of detail model is that you tweak to avoid that effect. See, Karen, the problem with that, I've tried it before, but then you actually get like a lot less lines, and so like that also has problems. Have I, Smooth Dog, have I thought of putting it on Steam Greenlight? Oh, does main GI have a problem with me putting... Okay. Are you thinking of putting it on Steam Greenlight? Hopefully I won't have to go through Steam Greenlight. Main GI says a name that hopefully doesn't require 2 extra words at the beginning. I see he has a problem with me putting my name in the title. I actually did do that for legal reasons, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of like that. It feels like really old school. No one does it now. There's a lot of single word puzzle games. I know Real Entropy is working on a game called Spectrum. But yeah, there's a lot. There's like Magnetic, Polarity. And I kind of like that idea of where it's like the designer is just like, you know, I'm willing to put my name on the line. Played this at BitBash in Chicago. If you haven't tried it, event. There's actually going to be another event tomorrow. It's going to be there. It's called Invisible Arcade, run by Samantha Coleman. She's making that game Centris. She's based in Seattle. Has been running these events. They're like video game performance parties. It's really cool, but she's doing it for the first time in a place not in Seattle. It's happening in Chicago tomorrow. So if you're here, you should come to that. Untitled Doom Laser Project. I think that one has a name now. Is it really hard to make a level? Crazy Raz 91. I think this level we made has gone through a number Like, I think it's been, it's actually, I feel like I've been streaming its development from the beginning of this level, and you can see it in our streams. I think it's on YouTube. I think it has been archived. I'm going to do another one. See parent rule of thirds, yes. Untitled new game. Number 1 was my favorite. UDLP. D. Kilmer, you like the sense of something unfinished. Yes. I think I can see that if it works, but I don't think it works well. I don't know. The problem with non-intentional architecture is sometimes people get confused. And in this game, there's like a lot of room for confusion. Someone, you know, about the name, someone suggested, which I think is really funny, is just like making some weird symbol and then calling it the game formerly known as Relativity. Perhaps I could convert the lines into a texture for the low level of detail model. Yeah, I don't think it would work well with the shader. Dudes, you need to check out Escher, Crazy Raz 91. Bat gravities, though. I think you mean DAT gravity. Real Entropy is going to change his name to Real Entropy's Entropy. You should do it. Learn from Software Toolworks how not to do it. Oh, I see, yeah. Hey man, it's my game. If I want to put my name in front of it, I will do it. Company is bigger. Yeah, this is pretty crazy though. It's like they even have the. Like I said, it's an old school thing. Game name. Game underscore name. Like watch underscore dogs. Yeah. No, if I do my game that face, it would be called the game formerly known as Relativity. I do the backwards E is intended to be the there exists operator in mathematics. I'll have to store to get water. Ah, that's gonna be I get it. Water. This looks like the pentagram. Oh, right. Yeah, no, fortunately my name is really short. There can be no game without a the Talus principle. Hello, 702-408-8154. It's not loading. Alright, okay, so, anyway, that's that level. Let's, so some of the stuff I was going to talk about is, let's try to decide, and the stream's almost going to end, but, the symbol is relevant. I didn't just pull it out of my butt. Hold on. I'll look at that some more. Is that supposed to be all the gravity directions that it's pointing at? Hold on, I'm gonna talk about... So some of the reference images, the repeating architecture. Would love to hear what you guys think. So I think last time, basically what we did was a combination of this view. I think it's somewhere from India, but that's where I kind of got the column design from. It's not. I can't get that like level of detail, unfortunately. It would be amazing to kind of see a game with this level of detail with my weird geometry. So we did like this combined with this. So this was really the scene that inspired it, right? And you can kind of see in the distance he has this like large opening, and you see these columns that have 4 smaller pillars inside. The only thing I couldn't quite figure out how to do was he's got these steps, so this thing like slowly descends. So these are, yeah, you show them more and more. I didn't really, the thing is I can't have steps like, or I could have steps like this. No, I can't have steps like this because they are very one directional. Like if you were to rotate it, you can't walk on it that other way. So I don't have steps. So it would, my things would, like, they would always be 45 degrees. It just doesn't look as good. So this is not super interesting. So we've done this. We haven't done this, but we did the, not this one, we did the stepwells. This one. By the way, if any of you ever come across images of repeating architecture like this, send it to me. This image got messed up. Yeah, okay, so this I thought was kind of cool. This is from the Salk Institute, I believe in California. This also looks really cool. Let's try this one. Or as close as we can get. And see what happens. So, alright, see you later. I'm looking for programmers and beta testers to try out my old new way of generating graphics in my game simulation called His Tori. Do I have a Menger sponge level? Do I? I don't know if it's gonna run. You know what? I'm gonna just show you. Eddie, did you not see it on the devlog? We had this was the Menger sponge level, but this one is like yeah, it's just a little too crazy performance wise. But let's see here. Let's duplicate this scene. Save scene as no, wait, that's not. Ugh. I just duplicated it, and then we'll do it Indian column. Well, India columns, which is kind of what this reminds me of. This is from Crazy Raz. It is, the Manga Sponge is too busy with the outline style. Are you talking about the columns that you like? Oh, the window shape. Problem with the windows is I actually have a pretty consistent rule for that, which is they're all very much, they're all pretty much like Frank Lloyd Wright style windows. But anyway, hold on a second. I'm going to add, okay, so last time we had this. Let me replace it with just a second. Let me replace it with this image. Oh, actually, you know what? I just remembered. This is what I wanted to do. This is the level I was really interested in. Though I cannot seem to find the image. Ah, here. This. So let's just try to make this and see what happens. So I am calling the level Salk Institute. I do have a fractal level where the ground is replaced by just cubes. Those are easy to make. Okay, let's get rid of all this stuff from the previous levels that we just don't need. Okay, and let's start from scratch. Alright, so I'm just, so you know, I'm starting this from scratch. Usually this is like a Pro Builder block. Right now I'm just kind of blocking out like a really rough geometry and seeing what that looks like. Let's go into vertex color. So this is the, it's got this gray tool, vertex color. It lets me color these blocks differently just so I can see that they are separate pieces. Actually, blue is not such a great color because then I can't see the exact face I've selected since that is blue. So we are going to just try to model like a really rough version of this. We're not even thinking about proportions right now. Just try to get, you know, just kind of take a look at how this is being done. Do I model in Blender? Hello, the rises. Hello. I don't model in Blender. I do everything inside Unity with a tool called ProBuilder. Actually, if you guys don't mind, I am going to take a quick snapshot so I can share on Twitter. Oh. New scene, where scene 224. Oh, that reminds me, by the way, we had a conversation with Mark, ProBuilder inside Unity. ProBuilder's a plugin. Mark Tenbosch, and he says that, remember we were talking about sort of 3D sphere, would it be, if I were to add an extra dimension, would it be like the red axis, where it just kind of goes around like this, or the yellow axis where they all go to the same point? He says the third axis would be like the yellow one. In fact, any additional axis would be like this yellow one. Alright, let me just post on the Twitter. Starting a new level designed from scratch. Oh man, I'm hearing the fireworks already for 4th of July. Hold on. Where's this picture I just took? Here we go. Okay. We'll do a little bit of work on this, and then I will. Salk Institute. What's going on over here? Some random dog. Some random dog. Hello. This is a game. It's called Relativity. There's the website. You can check it out. It is a first-person exploration puzzle game where you have crazy architecture and geometry. I am gonna go ahead and link you to the E3 live stream with Sony, which really just explains it way better than I could right now. But so right now we are kind of building a level from scratch, modeling it after, well, not exactly after, but just based on this image of the Salk Institute. Kind of just doing like a really rough, kind of blocking out sections. Alright, I think that's way too thick. So you know what, I'm going to select all these faces and then we're just going to drag it back in here. So I'm pretty comfortable with all the ProBuilder hotkeys now. So it looks like they just have this like super thick wall, and then there are a number of floors you can walk on. So let's kind of bring this out here, drag it down. Okay, let's bring this out again, and boom, there we go. Okay, sure we can bring this out a little bit farther. Now it looks like their design has it come out into this, so I think we would need to stagger it in this. Okay, there's another column that would come out in here. Oh man, do you guys hear the fireworks outside? Looks like people are letting them off already. It's actually illegal to buy fireworks here in Chicago, so everyone goes to Indiana to buy them. Which is only like 2 hours away, 2-3 hours. Or Gary's only like an hour away. A lot of people live in Gary and work in Chicago. I think because it's, well, it must be because it's cheaper. Yeah, I feel like this can be way longer. Oh man, we brought it out the wrong way. Okay. Oh my god, what is this G-shift stepping on my territory? It looks much more just like a platformer though. There is a really cool game, it's called Escape of Gravity. My friend Daniel's making it. Daniel West. He's an Australian developer. Okay. DMCAs? What is that? This is a building by Louis Kahn. I feel like I need more visuals of this level to reference. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Oh shit! Thank you, main GI. Thank you. Actually, what happened was Alex went back in time and took my idea. Yeah. My big worry is that this game will come out and people will be like, oh, it's not as good as Antichamber. But I don't think that'll happen. They're very different. Okay, so he has this diagonal piece. I don't think I'll be able to do that, but... Okay, so we would do... I don't know, windows. Let's do some rough windows. Just rough it in. I actually think this might not be a super interesting level. It's like too minimalist. But we will see. You don't like G-Shift. Have you played it, Crazy Raz? Is it just on Steam Greenlight? I didn't actually take a... I only looked at the trailer for like 20 seconds. Alright, I'm gonna color this, so let's try to get some windows in. I hope that there are more FPS puzzlers as a whole, considering how rare that pair is. The pair being first person and puzzle. It is. It's not a common... It's a very... I think what I've learned is that it's just a really tough category to make games in. I hope... I do wonder if maybe after The Witness comes out, maybe after my game comes out, there'll be a reignited interest in it. It is very hard to design for. It seems like roguelikes are much more popular these days. I'm just looking for more images of Salk Institute to reference to the architecture. Wait, let me bring this to the screen. There's no reason why I shouldn't. I mean, it's not a comment, Eddie. So like, what? Like, why don't like? What are the first-person puzzle games? It's like Portal, okay, Portal 2, yeah. I'm talking about just. I think like to me the ones that are worth talking about. It's like Fract, Antichamber, Portal, Cairo, Naissance. It's not so much of a puzzle game, more of a exploration atmosphere game. And then what have been other significant ones? I can't really think of too many others. I mean, there's a few in development. There's Scale, Maquette, which I really like. Or I haven't played it. I think it's interesting. Oh, I like those windows. Okay, so this is much more minimalist style, and then it's got that thing in the back. Got it. Cube. Cube is Eddie's favorite, I've heard. Let's not make fun of Cube. I mean, I've played it. I think there were some problems. You know, like having made a game now, I know how hard it is, and I know every dev is like works their butt off. I do think they had some design issues that it just got a little bit too tedious, but you know, like I'm sure it's something that all those devs like just really poured their heart into. So I do think it's worth checking out. I think there's a lot of I love the music in that game. You know, there were a lot of my biggest frustration with Cube was just that there were some puzzles where you had to jump to get across the gap, and every time you failed, you had to like go back earlier, and just jumping in first person is very difficult. I have no jumping in my game, but yeah, I've like having made a game myself now, or making one, I just know how much work goes into it, and how much like, yeah, it's hard for me to just, I don't like dismiss games anymore. So I think if you make puzzle games, you should definitely play Cube and check it out. There is some interesting stuff there. I do think it looks very nice, and it sounds great, and they did a lot, you know, nice menu. It's like great presentation. I just think some of the puzzles could have been smoothed out a bit so it wasn't as frustrating. But yeah, I know, because sometimes like I see my game talked about on Reddit, and people are just like, oh, your game looks boring, and it just like totally ruins my day, crushes me. But you know, you can't, obviously that's like, there's nothing you can do to stop that. But yeah, I bought Cube. Was like a day one purchase for me. Yeah, Cube is great. Infinifactory, is that a puzzle game? That's like a programming game. Oh, right, Talus Principle. Polarity. That was okay. I haven't played Polarity. Okay, but we've named like 10, maybe 10. Right? That's not that many at all. Portal. Yeah, I mean, they're just the notable ones, but I think, like, I do think if you make something different, then you'll be notable. Like, so, they're the notable ones, but, I don't think it's that hard to stand out in the first-person puzzle game space if you are really doing something different. Fract OSC, I think that did, like, great. I think that had great atmosphere and great visual design. You don't often see games focusing on sound. Oh, right, there's that new Obsidian. I think it's Obsidian's from the guys that made Myst. Their new team. Magic Circle is another game. I don't know if that's a puzzle game. So yeah, I mean, the ones you're thinking of, Cube, Antichamber, Parallax. I did play Parallax for a little bit. It was actually, the visuals were too harsh for me. Abduction, that's it. Thank you, Rishi CS. Abduction, that is Mind, Path to Thalamus. I don't think that's a puzzle game. I would consider that more of an exploration game. Oh, and also someone asked me earlier, what did I think about the art style of Memory of a Broken Dimension? I don't know if I answered it. I don't know if you're still here, but I think that art style is awesome. Ezra's doing, I mean, I'm like a sucker for crazy shader work, and Ezra is doing some phenomenal stuff with shaders. Yeah, I think his game, like, almost has to be PC only. But it just looks like nothing else I've ever seen before. I was really, really happy that he got nominated for IGF in art. It's kind of cool because it's like not a game that looks stereotypically pretty. Like the Banner Saga was nominated. Gorogoa won that year, but Gorogoa like looks wonderful, and Banner Saga was like, it just, you know, it's like a very, it looks fantastic, but I think it's like a stereotypical good looking, whereas Memory of a Broken Dimension is not, and I really like that it got chosen. Also, I also want to clarify, every game I like criticize or pick on is, I do it with the utmost respect to the developers. Yeah, like I said, making a game is seriously hard, and I know everyone like pours their heart and souls into it, so I don't want to come across like I'm dismissing anyone's work, but you know, you also have to kind of be able to critique things. Alright, back with your water. I recently started playing Naysensei. I love it. Naysensei, the visuals, I know, to get like that scene when you go outside, I think it's going down, I think that's the chapter name. I think that was the first time in a game that, like, it literally took my breath away. I was just like, holy cow. And it was amazing. It's like this thing on your screen making you step back and really feel the scale of it. I love it. Yeah, and I've talked, and I you know, I was really against the gameplay. Like, I thought it was too harsh. You jump, you fail. But then I kind of have come around to the idea that I think it needs that, like, the game shouldn't feel like it was designed for you. It needs to feel alien to you, and that's what makes that space feel the way it is. So, yeah, Naysensei, hands down one of my favorites. I actually talked to him a lot. Lamas 5 Madros, I think is his name. I talked to him quite a bit, and I'm just like, dude, how did you get that sense of scale? And he did it all himself. Like, he did the sound design. I mean, the music was licensed, but he did the sound design himself. He did all the modeling, the programming. It took him 5 years. I have played Mirror Moon EP. I couldn't figure out how to use that thing. If dexterity is the primary mechanic, it is not a puzzle game. I don't know if I agree with that. If dexterity is a primary mechanic, it is not a puzzle game. One could argue that Portal requires a bit of dexterity. Some of the later puzzles you do need to be, not Portal 2, but Portal 1, I think some of the later puzzles you do need to be pretty good with timing. Okay, so it looks like the front needs to open. No, the back needs to open. Okay, see, my geometry is kind of messed up. Braid requires dexterity, yeah, I would say so. Use some buttons on the touchscreen with 5 fingers, that's what I mean by dex. Okay. That's a good point. Mokismo points out requiring dexterity and dexterity being the main mechanic are two different things. Yes. But, like, what game requires dexterity being the main thing? I suppose, like, QuickTime events are arguably dexterity-based. Super Meat Boy? I suppose Super Meat Boy is dexterity. Super Meat Boy would be an example of dexterity being the main mechanic. Then, and Braid requires dexterity. So then, yeah, Naissansei's, I would say Naissansei's not a puzzle game, not for the reason that it, not for the dexterity issue, but because it's not, that's just not its focus. Like, it's not trying to give you puzzles to solve. It has puzzles, but I think they exist more to break up pacing than to have a mechanic to work with. Thomas Was Alone. Thomas Was Alone was much more of a platformer than a puzzle game. Okay. Anyway, I think this is ready. We can just go inside and take a look around. It's a complete mess. Some of the geo have gone like pretty messed up, but let's just go inside and just see what this looks like. Environment. Alright, where is my... Qbot. This game I feel is cool. Which game is this? Glitch Space. I knew it was gonna be Glitch Space. Okay. My question with Glitch Space is, doesn't it just get like too powerful? I think that's a mechanic where it's like, how do you, like, it just, oh. Okay, let's see, it needs to come out more. Like, that mechanic is just so powerful. I don't know how they're gonna, what they're gonna do from a design standpoint. It's like people just break everything. It does look really cool. I've been following it. I thought it wasn't going to get done for a while because I think they were one of their like main programmers left or something. And you can see this is kind of what's happening. I'm working so quickly. These blocks are getting distorted. There's like this. It's actually like a Pro Builder thing. But I'm just like roughing out areas right now, so it doesn't really matter. Qbot. I've never heard of Qbot. I think this might just be too big. Although, you know, it would be kind of refreshing to have a level that has like no geometry, no details. It would be very boring though. Yeah, unfortunately I don't think this one's gonna work. It's not enough detail. Alright, I am going to call it a night here. We'll save this. But everyone, thank you again for watching. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. Like I said, you know, if you have a puzzle game you're working on that you'd love to get feedback on, I'm going to start doing these critiques maybe once a week on Friday. And if you see repeating architecture, send that to me. Let me know what you guys think. I'm on Twitter. You can send me an email. Twitter is really the best way. Let's see what else. Oh, make sure to follow. I don't have a subscribe button yet, but make sure to follow. And yeah, hope to see you guys another time. I think the next stream is going to be... I might do something this weekend. I don't have anything planned, but we'll probably be on Monday. I'm also going to start moving it to... It's going to start at 8:30 p.m. CST instead of 8 p.m. Just because it's a little bit too rushed. Alright, cool. Thanks, guys.